Please be seated. Your Excellency, Mr. Watunde Raji Fashola, SAN, Chairman, NIMR Foundation, Board of Trustees. Chief Mrs. Makonjola, Board of Trustees, Dr. Shubande, the Executive Director, members of the NIMR management here present, staff of NIMR Foundation, colleagues in NIMR, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the November edition of the NIMR Monthly Media Briefing as we mark the 9th month of this engaging session. This morning, we turn our attention to a special focus in the NIMR Foundation, an important partner established to advance NIMR's mandate. Together with NIMR Foundation Board of Trustees, a former DG of NIMR and a member of the trustees. You're welcome, sir. So together with the NIMR Foundation Board of Trustees and staff, we will outline the Foundation's philosophy, its establishment, and the progress it has made to date. The Chairman of the Board of Trustees will be talking a lot about this. So why do we have this monthly media chat? It exists to showcase NIMR's activities, foster some level of accountability and collaboration. It's intended to promote visibility by way of explaining our work in very simple and understandable language to the public, to foster a two-way knowledge exchange, answer questions, and get feedback. It is hoped that this kind of interaction will also allow our funders, and this time I'm talking about the National Assembly, to understand what exactly we are doing and why we are relevant to the society. The media channel is intended to strengthen collaboration, build trust, and encourage accurate reporting while widening the reach of NIMR, its innovations and research outputs. It's intended to amplify public impact by highlighting findings, resources, and expertise, accelerating the translation of research into policy, practice, and subsequently improve health outcomes. Over the past months, we have built a more reliable relationship with the media. We established a regular channel for updates that enables us to plan coverage and training opportunities with relative ease. We produce briefing materials in plain language to make complex research topics accessible to a broad audience. Many researchers have been featured across diverse disciplines, providing journalists with direct access to subject matter experts for accurate and timely reporting. The current poster we are following extends till December 2026. Every month, different researchers are featured. NIMR researchers, like I said, have been providing journalists with information as to what they do. Our collaboration with media houses has expanded to support science literacy and responsible reporting on research findings. We are also creating a repository of media-related resources that would simplify dissemination. We try as much as possible to provide some of this information on our website, including various social media links. This steps aim not only to generate stories, but better stories, which are timely, accurate, and contextualized for the public we serve. Indeed, journalists have been granted access to our laboratories, and some have even joined researchers in the course of field work outside Lagos State. And some time ago, some of us went as far as Kano, in company of researchers from NIMR. A highlight I want to emphasize is the recent training workshop on health reporting conducted in collaboration with the Health Writers Association of Nigeria. Health reporting remains a critical arena where accurate coverage can shape public understanding and health outcomes. The workshop covered several essential elements, such as guidance on interpreting research data, avoiding sensationalism, techniques for translating complex biomedical concepts into clear, compelling narratives that are suitable for diverse audiences. This effort aligns squarely with NIMR's mandate to support evidence-informed public discourse and to equip media professionals with the tools they need to report responsibly and accurately. Today is special because we turn our attention to the NIMR Foundation, a significant partner established to assist NIMR in achieving its mandate. And I have to say a big thank you to my predecessor, Professor Babatunde Salako, who did everything to bring NIMR Foundation into existence. The NIMR Foundation Board of Trustees and the NIMR Foundation staff will examine NIMR Foundation's philosophy, its establishment, and achievements thus far. I invite all present to engage and ask questions, seek clarifications, and lend your support to the challenging work of research evangelism so that NIMR Foundation can succeed. By the way, when I said ask questions, seek clarification, it's not from me, it's from NIMR Foundation. Today is NIMR Foundation's day. Having said that, we are honored to welcome His Excellency Mr. Babatunde Fashola, Chairman of the NIMR Foundation Board of Trustees. I don't know if you would like what I have to say, sir. I think I'm the luckiest person in this room. Having had the opportunity to work on them, it gave me not only the assistance in terms of academics. I thank you for so many things, sir. As provost, as Vice Chancellor of LASU. You've made a lot of difference to my life. Thank you, sir. And one thing I'll always be grateful for is the fact that you trusted me when you gave me that responsibility during the night crash. I'll never forget. And I recall saying that we would not do a mass burial, we will identify everybody. And I recall you asking me, are you sure? And I said yes. I thank you, sir. I thank other members of the Board of Trustees here present for joining us. And I thank you in particular, the Chairman, despite your demanding schedule. I'm sure by the time we're through, we would have learned a lot about NIMR Foundation and its role in assisting NIMR to achieve its mandate. To members of the media, as strategic partners in advancing NIMR's mandate, thank you for the ongoing collaboration and commitment to accurate, impactful journalism. Together, we can ensure NIMR's research not only advances knowledge, but also informs decision-making and improvement of our lives. I welcome you all to the November NIMR Monthly Chart edition with a special focus on NIMR Foundation. Thank you. Of NIMR, Fashola, a very consummate professional that I have had the privilege to work with, and without regret. Self-effacing, perhaps, but no less efficient. My colleagues on the board of NIMR Foundation, Professor Odebe, Professor Guide, I think is on his way. The Chief Mrs. Mojima Kojola, our mother and matron of the foundation, and our very, very hardworking Executive Director, Dr. Olajide Shubande, not forgetting those who are not here, His Highness, the Sanusi Lamido, Yemi Kanu, who sits on the board with us, and Professor Salako, former DG of NIMR, both in absentia, along with Professor Guide, who I referred to. Distinguished participants, media practitioners, thank you for allowing us to be part of your monthly media meeting. Researchers, administrators, and scholars who are the owners of this very historic and famous institute. I noticed when the introductions were being done that except for, I think her name was Vivian, the president, I think, of the Writers Association, all the other reporters seem to be microphone shy. And we could barely hear their names. But it was good to note that there seemed to be a majority of women amongst the press corps who are here. And since we are working on something that helps nation building, it is a very trusted undertaking in the hands of women. So I hope that in spite of being microphone shy, you will not be reporting shy. because we think that this interaction can be a force not just for national good, but for continental and global good. The program for today has me participating in 3 events. The first one is this introductory thing, and I'll try to keep this part short so that I can come back in some fuller detail. But just to say that life is very ironic. So I think in 1976, when I was in Form 3, and that is the time when students make career choices for those who school in my era, and they separate you finally to arts and to science classes. So the school asked my parents to come, and that they were taking the decision that in spite of my insistence, I was clearly no good at sciences, because except for biology, where I thrived, all the other science subjects, including of course math, which was the foundation of science, were just hopeless. So they asked me to leave the science classes, and I parted ways with my friends in the science classes, and I ended up in the arts classes. And so the only profession at that time that I could realistically aspire to, that did not require math and that did not require sciences, was law. And from then on, I said bye-bye to sciences. That was the problem of the Obafowas and the Dibbles and the Chauvelins and all of them. Good leaders to sciences as far as I was concerned. But life plays a trick on you. And I thought I was rid of mathematics forever. But life has its own predestined purposes for you. I didn't plan a life in government. So I entered government, and I was working directly in the governor's office, and my first connection with mathematics was preparing state budget. I said, well, has come again. This mathematics that I dodged has found me out. And that was the beginning of my re-encounter with things I thought I had left behind. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, I became governor myself. So all of the things that I had been insulated from started coming back, and I had to dig deep to those early science classes. Well, when I thought I had escaped in 2015, I became minister. Works, power, and housing. How can you love mathematics? And I said, now they have found me out. But I think I survived. And just as things were getting very, very comfortable, a family friend called me that there is one Professor Lavatunde Salako who is looking for you. So what's the problem? He said, just see him. And immediately he came to my office and said, look, sir, I need you. I am DG of NIMR. We are struggling with this and that. But I think that if we start a foundation, it will help us. And I said, yes, it's a very brilliant idea. I want you to chair it. I said, this one wants to disgrace me. What is my own with research? The person that could make me foundational science in the research institute. At this one, what he said, no, don't worry. I have professors there and all of that. The rest is history. We are here. But we are here not for self. All of those who serve on that foundation do so for absolutely free. We collect no sitting allowance. We collect no remuneration. On the contrary, we invest our own time and our resources in trying to support this institution called NIMR. Now, why NIMR? So, I will try to just, the reason we chose, when we heard that there was this monthly media chat, we said we wanted to come and talk to you. Because NIMR is owned by the federal government of Nigeria. A very, very important creation of government that has not yet received the kind of attention that her contemporaries are receiving from their own government in other parts of the world, like in India, like in South Africa, like in the United Kingdom, like in the United States. But it's not only government that should pay attention to NIMR, it's all of us as a people. And so before I end this, my first intervention, I just like to ask how many of us in this hall are wearing glasses. Just raise your hand. So what would the quality of our lives be like without glasses? Terrible. But would we have had glasses without research? So this is what some people have done to make our own lives better. What can we now do to make the lives of the next generation better? Just think about that. So this is the message of the importance of research to improve quality of life, to improve the experience of the human civilization on planet Earth. So all of us are now familiar with this drug, now the name has just penicillin. Penicillin was a groundbreaking discovery, I think in 1948, in antibiotics. And before then, the average life expectancy was under 40. Once you have a disease that will kill you, you are certainly going to die. But penicillin was a forerunner for many antibiotics that are now so life-defining, life-saving, and work again of research. But we are at the point now where almost everybody knows somebody who has a cancer. Is that not true? So that is the existential challenge of this moment. Cancers of all types. What would life be like if the solution, the answer, the cure to cancer was found here? Don't you think it is possible? So that is the big message, the big reason why we decided to come and participate in this monthly media chat, so that those who have the power of sharing the word, the message, the media, can help us do what we have sought to do, to evangelize for NIMR and for research. Not just to government, to commit more money, more funding to medical and other types of research, but also to public-spirited people who want to give money to good causes, that research is a good cause to spend your money in. So I will stop there for now. I will come back later and then tell you some of what we have done at the time allotted for that purpose. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, my Chairman, the Director General of NIMR, Executive Director, Board of Trustees, I think Sam is the only one that calls me Moji in this hall. But I won't find him because we have been in the trenches for too long. So you can't even remember that triple chief. But because the women in Nigeria are on the course of inclusiveness in governance, and particularly as we start today, as the 16 days of activism to combat gender-based violence, and in the spirit of motherhood and sisterhood, I forgive him. However, for me today, it's a defining day because for more than 3 decades, I haven't worked on NTA and haven't been given the privilege to head health, environment, and gender. I have always said that for science, for health, for development, the media is an imperative. There had been a lot of argument about that, but around the world, if you are tracking and you are tracing, you will know that for every sector of human development, the media has a role. And so when I got the invitation and I was asked to speak on the role of the media in medical research, I said, DG sir, you have sent me back to class, because this would have been an essay. And so I tried to do some research, like Sam rightly said. Because for us as journalists, we have to be versatile. What we learned in class teaches us only how best to write. It doesn't, sometimes you have to educate yourself to be able to analyze, to be able to dissect, and for you to be able to bring the perspective that will help humanity in your write-ups. So I intend to go through some of it. I have, I'm sure you will share with you the outline, introduction, why media matter, why media matters for research and development, how media accelerates translation of research into impact, and recommendation for NIMR going forward, and of course, a conclusion. For my intro, I wish I could read from there, but thank God I can at least see. And the chairman has said to us, but for this, and the research that has been made on our glasses, we probably will be bumping into each other. But thank God for research. So I'll quickly go through this. Across the world, groundbreaking discoveries lose their power when they remain locked within laboratories, academic journals, and conference halls. Research achieves its full value only when it is understood, applied, and transformed into solutions that improve their lives. This is where the media, traditional, digital, and social becomes an indispensable partner. In an age of information overload, misinformation, and rapid technological shifts, the media is not just a channel of communication. It is a bridge between science and society, between innovation and decision making, and between evidence and action. For a leading institution like NIMR, whose work directly influences public health, policy, and national development, leveraging the media is not optional. It is strategic and mission critical. I want to say again that continuous media engagement, I'm happy that the DG says this will be a continuum to support improved visibility and awareness of NIMR's programs and operations. Give visibility to the research evangelism that is our own contribution. Research evangelism. Be a pastor today of research, be an advocate today of research, and ensure that continually, even on your own, seek knowledge. Conclusively, it is imperative that NIMR embraces the media as a strategic partner. This will amplify its influence, accelerate the use of evidence in national health decision-making, and ensure that research findings translate into tangible improvements in the lives of Nigerians. Thank you for listening.
As I said before, the last present member of the board, Professor Igwe came in. All of us have been involved since 2020 in NIMR Foundation. All of us. Not one of us has drawn one coin for NIMR Foundation. Not one of us. So we set ourselves a quite ambitious target, which we have not yet met, in terms of how much we wanted to raise. But in the event, we raised 502 million naira, and we have disbursed 295 million naira to date. And the DG will come to give me reports, and the executive director will come and give me reports and notes of what those things have gone for. But they have largely gone to grantmanships and mentorship training programs, capacity building of the next generation of researchers. That's where we have concentrated. And that has led to about 120 early career researchers who have undergone our training program. They have evolved into a 12-month fellowship that integrates online learning, in-person workshops, and structured mentorships. They themselves have also now been able to source and access 590 million naira worth of new research grants and 197 million in travel awards and fellowships, and they have published 242 scientific papers and completed 18 systematic or scoping reviews, with 7 of them already published in high-impact journals.
So the current format that we have now is that the training program has actually transitioned into a full-fledged fellowship program that that spans 1 year. So when candidates are selected, they initially undertake a 12-week program that is focused on manuscript writing, systematic and scoping review, and they actually do. So this is not theory-based. As you're learning, you are doing. So basically, you see one of the things that we're going to talk about is that as of today, we've been able to commission 18 systematic or scoping reviews. That's at the level of the foundation. And 16 of these have been completed by the groups from 2022 to 2024. And in fact, as of today, 10 of them have been accepted for publication. 8 have already been published as of this morning. We got another one published this morning. And these publications are in high-impact journal, open access index journals. We published in +1 International Journal of Environmental Health and Public Health, plus Digital Health, Frontiers in Pharmacology, Frontiers in Clinical Diabetes and Healthcare, to name a few. In summarizing all of this, I think what is really important to emphasize is that on the grantmanship and mentorship end of things, that we are beginning, well, the way I say it is that we are beginning to crack the code on how to really do this grantmanship and mentorship training program in terms of the kind of result that we're beginning to get from the fellows. And remember that this is at just the early days when we are talking about what has been done specifically. In terms of research, evangelism, and advocacy, one of the key things that led by the Board of Trustees of the Foundation, is that we've been able to lead high-impact delegation to the people who make decisions about funding for healthcare research in Nigeria. There were visits to the immediate past Minister of Finance, in person of Zainab Ahmed back then, and also to the principal officers of the 9th National Assembly. And that cumulatively got us, to a large extent, some promise about extra funding for NIMR itself to be able to undertake research. In 2023, we got the first one, which was the 1 billion additional funding for research that was specifically awarded to NIMR. And in the following years, these fundings have continued to repeat itself, although not as much as the 1 billion that was got. So cumulatively, we had a total of allocation of over 2 billion to the institute itself to actually conduct research.
Your Excellency, sir, I want to commend the former DG for establishing this foundation, and thank your team for the work you have done so far. But looking at research and funding in Nigeria, it's so appalling and disheartening that NIMR depends, the DG can correct me, depends on 95% of its funding from the global donors or global community. It's really appalling. And from what you have said so far, you have to use your connections with your team members to begin to beg major stakeholders to fund research in Nigeria. Where are we going from here? It's not that the media is not doing its work, but when we see some of these things, it's really painful. God forbid there is another pandemic in Nigeria now. We start running here and there. The government starts mobilizing this and that, releasing funds here and there, being reactive instead of proactive. So I want to take it to, I want to appeal to you, sir. We will do our advocacy by getting the stakeholders, raising their alarm for the funding gap, for them to do the needful. But please, I want you to use your office and capacity to appeal to the government, the federal government, to do the needful. In my place, they said your overtime cannot take care of you as much as your salary. The contributions you are getting, you have mentioned here, the debt of the government is still more than this. This should be an additional and should not be the basis. So, asking question what are the issues is like another proverb in my place. You see a chicken, you're asking how does it fit. You see the math there. It's obvious that NIMR is financially challenged, both in infrastructure, both in staffing, because I have to do my findings. I think some months ago, we were told that they were owning, Tikeja Electric. It's very shameful, and the government has the money. It should get to that level. So if we start talking about the issues there are so many. But I appeal to you to use your church mind, the way you handle Lagos, to appeal to the federal to do the needful, sir. Thank you.
But you need the funding. You need the funding for this. Research is not cheap, but fortunately, research does generate its own income. So that in fact, the return on investment is often quite considerable. So this media interaction has two goals. One is for the media to help us emphasize the importance of government to put more emphasis on funding research, and I'm quite delighted to hear what the chairman has just said now, in terms of putting all of their disparate funding things together and harmonizing that. That will allow them to be able to also set targets and to be able to have a more meritorious way of giving those grants. So we want you to be able to emphasize that. The second thing we want you to be able to do is, of course, to appeal to the larger community to understand the importance of research, to support NIMR and to support the foundation in whatever capacity they can. But that's not the main issue, that's supplementary. But the foundation is only there to support what NIMR is positioned to do. So the emphasis on government funding and government support is very critical.
Now we have all come to understand the importance of research, not only promoting public health, but also in various developmental areas. We are all been told, and we all know, that the government funding for research in Nigeria is very, very minimal. And for us to aspire to get to the level of research we want to have in this country, we need to have some support. And then, of course, the foundation is there to support NIMR. But again, the press should help to continuously come out to emphasize the importance of funding research in Nigeria. It's not going to be a one-off thing. If you write today and in the next 3 months you don't write about it, what you wrote the last some 3 months back will be forgotten. But if you continuously, write about, why research funding is needed in the country, it will help drive the message home to those that are supposed to get the message.
Question, sir. NIMR is not owing any electricity bill. In fact, NIMR has nothing to do with Ikeja electricity. NIMR, electricity to NIMR is provided by Eco Electricity. And the last bill that came about 2 weeks ago, 29 million, we have paid it. So we're not owing anybody. We have come to the end of this media chat. This special media chat. And one is of the hope that sometime down the line, NIMR Foundation, led by His Excellency, will come back again and talk to us. I thank you, sir, and other members of the foundation, the Board of Trustees, for creating the time to be with us. We've been told what the foundation is all about, what the foundation has achieved, what they intend to do, and the fact that it's not just for the foundation to approach government, but the media to also come in and support what the foundation was doing, engage in the advocacy, and hopefully we'll all be able to reap the benefits. I thank my colleagues who found time to be here. I thank the support staff, without whom we will not be able to achieve most of the things that we're doing. I say a big thank you to our friends in the media. We appreciate the support you've given us over the last couple of months, and we trust that we'll continue to do this. I thank the media consultant, Mr. Simon Ferraro, the Director of Administration, who has continued to support this exercise. So on behalf of somebody was looking at me and smiling, from the accounts department, yes, you have done a lot to make everything possible. I acknowledge you. On behalf of the NIMR community, again, big thank you to Your Excellency and the rest of the team for joining us. And as we all disperse to our various locations, and particularly for members of the trustees, board of trustees that came out from out of Lagos. I wish you a safe journey back, and Amariba. Thank you.